Another day, another reason that this planet turns into an abysmal fucking hellscape, and I just look at it and wonder if there is a way we can finally go to Mars, and maybe, just maybe, if we're lucky, we'll have some sort of UAC style corporation form and we'll actually have the real life Doom Marine. Maybe then the Doom Marine would be enough to slap some sense into some fucking people. Now, I'm getting sick of seeing all these goddamn relationship challenges on social media. It's always from people that I don't know, that people that I'm my cousins and siblings that sometimes share this shit around, where it's like, "Would you love me if I was a worm? Will you peel this orange for me? If I want to break up, will you fight for me?" No, maybe, no. Like, I hate that people are trying to promote this mindset that you gotta play fucking games with each other to be in a relationship. If you need to pretend that you're wanting to fuck someone else just to see if your boyfriend or girlfriend wants to be involved with you, you're an asshole. You are. Because all you're doing is fucking them up psychologically and making them wonder if they did something to fuck up, or if they did something wrong, or if they're not enough. This is why I don't really like a lot of things like TikTok and other social media platforms as of late, is because a lot of the times it's just people trying to promote this dumbass fucking mentality where you need to just become another person in the fucking crowd that's doing the exact same shit other people are doing and fucking up their relationships too. Like, otherwise, you're not in with the trend. Like, here's the thing: if your trend is destroying other people's relationships and your own, it's not worthy of emulating or starting. It basically just sounds like the speed run on how to fuck up your relationship when you need to try to do whatever you can to antagonize, belittle, gaslight, humiliate, or demean your partner. Sorry, Lily. When you need to follow these stupid fucking things around all the time just so you can constantly look for new ways to make your boyfriend or girlfriend jump through hoops just to prove their loyalty and their love for you, guess what? You don't deserve that person. If this person is still willing to put up with you after all the shit you do with this kind of shit, they're too good for you. Because it means that you're going to treat them like crap and then demand that they treat you better. These are the kinds of people I can't fucking stand. If there's a problem in the relationship, you sit down, you talk about it, you work it out. And if things don't work out, you just go your separate ways. You don't make your boyfriend, for example, jump through fucking hoops to prove his loyalty and love for you. You don't make him go out of his way to do things that are otherwise irritating and a waste of his time just because you want to know how far he'll go to make you happy. Like, I'm lucky enough to have not experienced any of that shit myself in my current relationship, but in past relationships, there were a couple people that's like, "Would you do this? Would you do that?" It's like, no, I wouldn't. Why not? Because this doesn't sound like something I actually want to fucking do. This doesn't sound like something that's worthy of doing, because it just sounds like it'd be a bunch of headaches for both of us all the time, every time, no matter what either one of us would want. And the people would get frustrated with, and the girl would get frustrated with that. It's like, well, what do you want me to do? I'm not gonna uproot everything I think and everything I believe in just to make someone else happy, because then I'm lying to my fucking self. Then you have one miserable person that can't say they're miserable because then they'll be belittled for that. And then you have one person that's essentially made them miserable but won't admit they made the other person miserable, because then they'd have to admit that their ideas were a complete ass backward fuck up. But yeah, these relationship challenges are getting out of hand because all it's doing is promoting this fucking culture of everyone just has to be willing to tackle any challenge all the time, every time, to be worthy of your time. But at the same time, people are also encouraged not to lift a finger to help the person that's struggling. And yet at the same time, people are wondering why it is that relationships are just not holding up now. Why it is there are no relationships really, as opposed to like how they were. There's a reason that a lot of the people dating in their late 20s and early 30s now, the reason a lot of that's dropping off is because a lot of the people are starting to try to adopt this mentality of, if I behave like I'm 15 years old again, maybe people will be interested. People would be interested if you just acted like a fucking adult. Seriously, people are not mind readers. This goes for anyone, man or woman. You don't go around trying to make people read your every decision just to see whether or not they accept you, because what's going to happen is you're going to drive these people away with your constant demand for attention and acknowledgement of things that are not even worthy of getting attention for. And eventually, people are just going to say, fuck it, I don't want to deal with it, and they're just not going to anymore. They're just gonna finally decide the relationship has gone far too long and that it's just taxing for them to continue it, and they're gonna walk away. And it's gonna be all on the person who did that, because they're gonna have to be the one to look at themselves and think, maybe I'm the one at fault here, because this is the shit I decided to do to myself. The people that make these challenges are the biggest assholes of all, though, because they're the ones that are either willingly or unintentionally destroying other people's relationships by giving teenage girls and young women advice about things they themselves don't know about. And the problem is, the only people getting hurt are the people that are either in the relationship and don't know their girlfriend's doing this shit, or both parties, because the boyfriend feels hurt that his girlfriend's giving other men attention and not him. And the girlfriend's gonna get hurt when she realizes that all her attempts to make her boyfriend fight for her have just driven him away. A person shouldn't have to fight for the attention of the person that claims to want to be in a relationship with them. And if people don't understand that at like 17, 18, 19, in their 20s, maybe even in their 30s, they're never going to. It's the same principle of if someone asks for something and you give it to them, you don't suddenly take it from them and give it to someone else just to see if they'll fight over it. This is the same principle of it, except instead of with an object, it's with affection and attention. Any person with self-respect is not going to put up with that shit where it's like, oh, I see you're spending time with someone else now. You're like spending all your time with someone else doing something else. Well, I guess you don't need me anymore, so I'm going to dip now. Like I said, I've been lucky enough not to have anything like this in my current relationship. But in the past relationship, it was kind of like that, where it's like this person was just constantly trying to play mind games and fuck me up, thinking that I would waste my time trying to go after them and try to, like, more or less either try to beat the competition with hollow gestures or beat them physically. No. Any person with self-respect will not do this shit, because they're going to look at this and say, this is fucking beneath me, and they're going to walk away, as they should. If you really cared about this person and really wanted to spend your time with them to maybe think about the prospect of a long-term relationship, maybe even a marriage sometime in the future, the worst thing anyone could do is follow these like fucking love gurus and these relationship gurus on social media, because they're all full of shit. Like, at least a relationship counselor is trained to identify and examine these types of situations on a professional level. They understand the ins and outs of the couple's psychology to the point where they can give out actual valid and helpful advice. As opposed to some random dipshit on fucking TikTok or YouTube who believes in tarot cards and astrology, who seems to think that if she drew 2 Emperor cards and 1 fucking Hierophant card, that all of a sudden it means all your problems will be solved if someone commits infidelity and doesn't say anything, which is actually advice I've heard other people give. It's like, well, maybe if you cheat, you'd be better. No, because that means now you have that secret looming over your fucking head that you then have to try to conceal for no one knows how long. But yeah, this whole will you fight for me trend is fucking worthless. All it's gonna do is hurt a lot of people, cause a lot of problems, and I hope it never comes to this. I really hope it doesn't, because let's be honest. The way that society is right now, people are especially volatile, given all the stressors we currently have, given the prices of the prices of food, the prices of gas, the prices of a lot of utilities are going up. Now imagine all that financial stress is already going on somebody who's working their fingers to the bone and has a job they fucking hate. And then imagine their girlfriend pulls this shit on them and it's just the last fucking straw. I don't know how many situations will be like this. I'm hoping none. But you can't help but wonder if that would be the last fucking straw that makes someone finally just decide to paint their brains on a wall because they finally just get sick and tired of having like everything that was good for them or everything that was going good to them just to completely go up in smoke. Oh, and it's all because that one final little fucking flick of the domino is what was required to set off that whole chain of events. Now, I think that would be like an incredibly small minority of cases, mind you, but I definitely can't deny there would be a possibility that someone that's already on the edge of just committing an act like that might finally be pushed over the edge if an idiot happens to take that shit seriously and decides to go through with that particular shit. Like, oh, I'm hoping it never comes to that. But you can't help but deny that it's within the realms of possibility given the law of averages. Now, this is a quick word of advice to all the people who would actually try that shit. Don't do it. All you're going to do is hurt someone else, or hurt yourself, or hurt both of you. And the worst thing you want to do is be the person that blows up a possibility of a good, happy, long-term, healthy relationship because you wanted some extra clicks on TikTok. And if you don't understand that, you're kind of a fucking asshole, and you kind of deserve to be alone.